The opinions expressed in the following are those of its participants and do not necessarily reflect those of the producers and the Six Talk Podcast Network. Also, the following contains mature material and mild language, which may not be suitable for all audiences. Discretion is advised.
So unfortunately, this time around, we have to start on a fairly serious note. This is our first episode since the Kyoto Animation fire, which happened about 3 weeks ago now. And I think much of the shock has nicely worn off about that. Much of the shock, much of the outrage. And we're now at a point where we're starting to let the dust settle, so to speak, I guess. We've learned a little bit more about the suspect. I mean, we don't really need to go, we don't really need to go to rehash too much, right? I mean, plenty has already been said about the arson at the Kyoto Animation Studios. And there's not much we can add to that in that sense. But there was a thought that came to mind in the initial reports of this story. There was this Thomson Reuters article that said, quote, "A pillar of Japanese culture, animation has of Japanese popular culture, animation has become a major cultural export, winning fans around the world. Kyoto Animation has an outsized role in the industry, with its influence outstripping the list of works it has produced." And I thought that was an interesting way to kind of start how we should start talking about it at this stage. So Kevin Ng, Mohamed Sharmarke, they're here sitting around the table on this Saturday afternoon, August 10th, 2019, as we start episode 13 of the Anime Roundtable. And there isn't, like I said, we've learned a little bit about the suspect. We've learned a little bit about some of the some of the police reports and some of the background now. Initially, we didn't know. We know the suspect's name. I will try to avoid saying the name of the suspect and giving too much of their background. Frankly, we
don't want to glorify it.
Yeah, we don't want to glorify. Much has already been said about the suspect and his past. Much has been speculated about his motivations. Some outlets, as I said, decide not to mention the name. We won't. And if you want to find that, of course you can find that. There's plenty to...
But we encourage you not to. I mean, that's the whole point, right? The reason we're not saying, the reason most publications don't mention mass murderers or shooting spree terrorists like that.
Yeah, no, we're saying... Because we, obviously here in North America, we just saw two of them in the States last weekend.
Right. So, I mean, we don't want to glorify anyone who's done this type of horrific thing. I mean, the case will obviously progress. The cops will figure out motive and charge them accordingly. And that'll be the end of it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, the only names I'm now become a little curious about are the now 35 victims, because the 35th victim died more than a week after the fire.
Which is the names we should always be remembering. Every time anything like this happens, It's always best to remember the victims, not the perpetrator, because that's what they want usually.
Yeah, they want to be want to be remembered, and So I think as we talk about this a little bit, we'll learn. We hoped that during that time we would learn a little bit more about their stories, their names, the stories they have told, and sadly, a hint of the stories they'll never be able to share with us.
Which is the worst part.
So we'll talk about them a little bit later on. Do you have any reactions right now, just as we start?
It's honestly, when I first heard about this, it was shocking. Like, I didn't think a fire could kill that many people that fast. Like, when I heard 30 some odd dead, I assumed some kind of mass shooting. But then it's in Japan, so there's no guns really. So it's like, how did that happen? And the fire, it's like, wow, it's just mind-blowing. And then as I dug more into it, and it got picked up by all the major news networks, I remember watching a piece on The Insider, some American news broadcast, and they had a whole bit where
entertainment show, actually.
Exactly, and they had a whole bit where they're interviewing artists at Comic-Con, and there was one artist who was like just baffled at this. He's like, how can this Like there's no reason for it, right? I mean, even if you're that upset, like the motive is just baffling, right?
Yeah. Kevin?
I remember that morning where I randomly looked at Twitter and people I knew on Twitter were posting about it.
It's trending.
And I thought, geez. And then on 680 News, they were talking about it.
Yeah. That's, yeah.
And I thought, shit, like, people actually care about this.
It's on the level of, like, this is Saturday, August 10th, and something big happened this morning where Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. And I woke up this morning to that being trending on Twitter. And then a couple hours later, if you have the 680 News app, they give notifications for major stories.
Yes.
And that was one of the notifications.
Every outlet has that. I think the first inkling I got of it was from Bloomberg, out of all places.
Right. Everyone was talking about it. It's like, that's kind of how it felt like when this Kyoto story kind of broke. I mean, obviously not at that scale, but at the same time, it's, it's just, wow.
And I think it's because of the number of people that got injured and subsequently dying.
Without a doubt.
That was why all the major news outlets picked it up.
Which is just wild. I mean, like, the numbers shouldn't matter as much as the fact that these people died. I mean, if it had been 2 people,
It's still bad.
Exactly. We should be just as pissed off about it being 2 people as it is 30 something, right? But,
And I had friends who I hadn't spoken to in months message me about this fire. I also had close friends that are very into anime, commenting on it through, various conversations and online message chats. And people, oh man, like, I had 2 friends that were instantly thinking, like, how can I support them? Like, what can I do? And
which is the reaction most people have nowadays to anything tragic, right?
We'll go into that a bit later, but go ahead.
I think I know where direction you want to take for that. But just seeing everyone commiserating on this it was nice to see. Like, as bad as a situation as it was,
Cathartic.
It was nice to see people giving a shit, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess to that end, in light of the fire, I want to talk a little bit more at length. There is, but never did, like in the immediate days. But a few things did catch my attention. There were 3 articles that actually did catch my attention. First, there was actually CBC's coverage, and we will put links to all of these articles, links to the CBC coverage, which kind of brought the whole story home. Because they interviewed 2 fairly young workers, 2 female animators at Nelvana for their coverage, and how much they talked about Kyoto Animation titles as 2 of their big influences.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'll put a link to that. CBC. I mean, everyone praises CBC for their coverage, as much as they sometimes get a lot of flack. But when they did during the incident, there was a incident at Parliament Hill some years ago where a soldier got killed at the War Memorial.
Was that the one where the guard took him out? Or?
Yeah, it was the one where the guard took him out, and now that guard became I think he became the ambassador to Ireland. Then he's come home, and I think he's going
as an MP.
He's running in politics. I think in provincial politics. I forgot if it's
how wild is that?
I think he's going for premier of one of the maritime provinces.
I want every politician's story to be that way, where he's just some dude who was heroic and now is like a leader. That's what I want out of all my leaders, to be heroic and then become a leader.
Or he'll just become actually
and Kevin Vickers was his name. Was his name. That was the shooting incident.
Vic.
Or he could be corrupted and become like every other politician in our country.
But everyone
that's the obvious progression of all
but
politicians.
It was
right?
interesting.
You're a
but
nobody.
He's opted to get into politics. We'll look this up a bit later because I know he's getting into provincial politics now. But the thing was, people praised CBC's coverage of that incident because they didn't let it get too sensationalist.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which is the way it's supposed to be happening. Like that's how
journalism,
Yeah,
we want to get the I got it first, or
just
make it look so as I said, sensationalized, right?
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah,
but-
the CBC is still government funded,
Yeah.
right? It's not private advertiser driven
Mm-hmm.
news coverage, right? That's the biggest thing. Like if you're CNN or Fox News or whatnot, right? I mean, you want to sensationalize. You want this story to go on for weeks to make as much money as possible, right? But CBC, I mean, they're doing some good stuff.
They did, and they handled that pretty well. A lot of I know that there was a lot of good, some Twitter praise for the way that was covered. I think Ian Hannah-Mansing was the main anchor that night on the National. Second article that caught my attention was a CNN article by Susan Napier, one of the great commentators, one of the great academic commentators on anime, and she talked at length about the impact it'll have on the industry. She started to talk a little bit about the impact it had on the industry and what impact Kyoto Animation was having at that point. Because stories had come out over the last month before that, last couple months, about the tough conditions, the tough how hard it is to make a living in the pop culture industry in Japan, especially in the anime and manga. That you don't that income, that guaranteed income is a dream. Good income, making a good living is basically a dream.
The death of the salaryman, right?
Yeah, but then that Kyoto Animation was trying to buck that trend a little bit. Hired more women to be more involved because yes, it's a male dominated. It can be a male dominated industry. Hired more women, tried to pay them well, and this happened.
I mean, like,
And
it's just
it's going to set back. And then the third, and this comes back to the third, was an interview with John Ledford, which was on NHK World. John Ledford
of Sentai
Filmworks. He was interviewed on NHK World during their and once again, I'm putting my NHK World hat back on. He was interviewed by NHK World on their flagship news broadcast, Newsroom Tokyo, by Aki Shibuya and I forgot the other anchor, but I think I'm Hideki Matsuyama, but Hideki Nakayama. They were he was interviewed at length for the better part of like 5 minutes, and yes, he was promoting the GoFundMe page.
I will say that was, as insensitive as this may sound, that was excellent marketing by Sentai Filmworks to put that out first.
Yes.
I mean, I'm torn on this, man. I really am. I mean, I get it and what they're going through and why that would happen, but then, like, come on, man. That's
to do that first was so smart of them. And let me say this. Of course, their heart was in the right place. Yet, at the same time, I saw that and I thought, man, damn, are they smart in reacting first?
Well, here's the thought, and I'm going to give you a thought on this because this was given to me by some Japanese friends, some Japanese Canadian friends. There isn't really I'm told that the GoFundMe page, the crowdfund campaign was met with a lot of skepticism by Japanese in Japan, by the people there. I think it's on a number of different levels. So and to the listeners out there, both of you, you please feel free to correct me if I have any of this wrong, or to try to let me know if I have any of this wrong. One, there isn't really an established culture for grassroots crowdfunding of a charitable nature in Japan. We have it; it's become a thing here in recent years.
true that.
But it isn't as popular. Like, the concept hasn't really taken hold in Japan. So it's met with a lot of skepticism. Yes, crowdfunding does exist, but it's more on a business, a corporate and a business level sense. So yes, so when Kyoto Animation, opened their own GoFundMe type page, that that went gangbusters. But this one was met with a lot. But this one was seen as more grassroots and met with a lot more skepticism. Partly because not many know who Sentai is there. We know any North American fan, any Western fan, any probably European fans of anime and manga will know who Sentai is. People will know, and if you dig deep enough and have been in it long enough, you'll know who John Ledford is. So,
well, I'd actually would argue that not that many people or not that many fans would know who Sentai Filmworks is. I think they would know who Crunchyroll or Funimation or even Viz before Sentai.
True. No, obviously.
And that's why I say it was very smart of them to start that campaign before anybody else.
Because just to get themselves and their name out there.
Yes. And then they received their funding shortly after that too, which is another story altogether.
Yeah. But the thing is, that's the skepticism was met because of the lack of brand recognition, lack of name recognition with Sentai Filmworks. There was another point. There was another layer I want to bring into that one too.
Was it that we didn't? Maybe what you're thinking of was, we didn't even know at the time if Kyoto Animation was willing to accept the donations.
Yes. That's one part of the layer, and I now know where I want to go with this. But let's explore this part of it, because yes, and Ledford in the interview, and we'll put that link up as well. He said, we don't know exactly what we will hold the money. We don't know what exactly Kyoto Animation will want to do with it yet. We imagine, and he did state they imagine he wanted it. If it was his preference, that it would be used directly to the families for whatever costs, what they need that have been incurred for whatever reason. But
this is only one of Kyoto's studios, right?
It's their main studio, yes. But the
company's not over, right?
No, but in these interviews, they did state, like Susan Napier and John Ledford, most notably in these links I'll send, they did state that it has probably set back the industry some years because of the people involved and the people involved who died, whether they were long veterans or maybe more notably and more importantly, up and comers, younger talents who, as I said, whose stories will never be told. Right. The third layer I want to bring up, and I think which comes back to probably some of that skepticism, is I wonder how much the average Japanese may know about the popularity of their popular culture outside their borders. Right? Like, I mean, people know, I get it, and in many ways that NHK is trying. NHK outlets like NHK World and the branches of well-known Japanese publishers and networks, they know already. They're aware of it because they're trying to tap into that market and make it work for them, make it work for their businesses. Right. So whether it's NHK, Fuji, Kodansha, Sony, they know, and they're trying to tap into that. But just the average,
exactly, they see the green.
Yeah, they see the green and are trying to make that work. But for the average Japanese, how much are they aware that their what they like is can be well liked all around the world? Like, I mean, Ken Akamatsu was the first time he learned about the popularity of Love Hina outside of Japan. He mentioned how much of an eye-opening experience that was.
I feel like people will know, but then just don't think much about it, because people lead busy lives.
Yes, we do.
Exactly.
And I imagine that a decent amount of them may have not even known what Kyoto Animation was, because a lot of those shows are niche.
Anime as a whole tends to be, actually, now that you bring that part up.
The average Japanese person, they would probably only know Detective Conan or Doraemon or One Piece.
If that at all, right? I mean, they know that anime is a thing, they just don't know specifics, you know? It's like if you're in Britain and you know of grind type of music, you just aren't specifics on it, right? Mm-hmm. Same thing with fashion, same thing with almost any genre. It's like, you know of it, just not specifics, you know?
Mm-hmm. So my thinking is now but, you know, yeah, but then I think to an average fan, okay, you may not know they may not know any further than what they see at the surface, but then they learn a little bit more, and then they're surprised how much of what they learn is even more popular.
100%.
And I think that's the shock. I think that's part of the shock. I think the fans saw. I think just the average Japanese citizen may have seen in all of that, some of that outpouring. I mean, you had people, you had animators obviously express their concern through social media. Tim Cook did. Even our prime minister did. Strangely enough,
it's a big.
So this was a big thing,
right? You know who didn't express emotion over this?
Oh God! Can
we
not mention him?
He who should not be named.
Can we not? I already assume I know who you're going to talk about. But
do you? I mean, there's like 2 or 3 people who shouldn't be talking about, right?
Justin Bieber, Kanye West, and Donald Trump.
What? Those 3?
I thought Ford would be on that list.
Who?
Oh yeah, wrong. Okay, that's niche right there. Okay, so those are our initial thoughts. As I said, the investigation continues. And I guess as the raw parts of this subside, it never really does, I suppose.
I wonder what he's gonna get. Like, what kind of sentence would they give him?
In Japan, the death sentence is a thing. It is used, but it isn't used that. It isn't.
That's probably what it will be.
It's entirely possible. It's entirely possible.
I'd say there's a good possibility of that being
just for
the case.
reference, let's a perspective, I suppose. This is mentioned as the last one of the deadliest massacres in Japan's history since
World War II.
Post World War II. Deadliest building fire since a 2001 fire in Myojo, which killed they said 56, was it? Damn. So this isn't the biggest. Okay, September in 2001.
Deliberate attack, right? I guess.
Well,
the
Myojo attack, I think the Myojo fire, I think was deliberate too, but I don't think that's ever been. I don't think that's ever. Wait. Okay. Criminal negligence. Okay.
What about the gas attack?
The gas attack.
It's the sarin.
Yeah,
right?
the sarin attack. Yes. And we're on the topic of capital punishment. Remember that was a year ago. 13 of the 13 principles of that attack were executed last year.
Firing squad.
Hanging.
Right.
Hanging. So.
'Cause I remember reading about that and thinking the death penalty there was kind of weird because it's like. The method.
Well, the death penalty is the death penalty.
I'm not arguing with that. I just always found that the method of the death penalty was kind of weird, like the lethal injection, the firing squad, the guillotine,
the electric chair.
Yeah, especially electric chair. I mean, like actually, it's like
that's an American one.
It's
an all-American form.
It's so dumb, right? I mean, come on, that much electricity. That's just,
the whole idea. I'm told is to be as painless as possible, or as quick and painless as possible.
I mean, that's why I'm always a fan of if you're gonna have the death penalty, which I mean, honestly, I don't really support. I don't think capital punishment's a good thing. But if you're gonna have it, and you're gonna have to kill this person for doing whatever they did. Like, the death should be as painless as possible. Lethal injection is not painless. It is like horrific. The number of stories I've seen and heard of people dying in horrific ways where the numbing agents didn't work or whatever wrong.
I know,
right?
Especially since there's been the way that's gone in the last few years.
Exactly. And I'm sorry. I just feel like
because what I'm referring to is because the actual chemicals and medicines involved. Well, let's just say the manufacturers of them didn't appreciate the use of it.
Exactly, right?
So they made it a point not to help out in that.
Exactly.
Help out in that
that's why I'm a strong supporter that if you're gonna use a death penalty and kill someone, guillotine, man. It's not that hard. Just get a nice, giant, big, sharp thing. Just laser that head right off. Get some lightsabers.
Laser
those, right?
that head right off.
Wow.
Aren't lightsabers a thing yet?
No.
I'm pretty sure the government's got secret lightsabers.
Well, you got to think. Well, on the topic of technology, who knows, dude? Who knows?
And you think of that thing from Resident Evil, the first movie, with the cross grid in that room that just slides right through?
I didn't watch any of those.
What? That's not,
They were shot in Toronto.
that sounds
man.
like that
I think
sounds
it's
so Iron
mandatory.
Maiden.
Ooh, shot in Toronto.
They had City Hall in the second one. Come on.
You're talking to a person who barely watches any Hollywood films.
But this is based on a video game that's popular in Japan.
And here.
But anyway, there's our thoughts.
Kept Mila occupied for a while.
And now she's doing Monster Hunter.
The game, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway,
Are you going to watch that one?
Perhaps.
Well, as I said, those are our thought. Those are our initial thoughts. We know who the suspect is, but as I said, I'm more curious about the victims. Over the last week, 10 names have come out. Do you want me to read them out, or
Go for it, man. Yeah, definitely.
I'll do my best to read them out, and then we'll tell a little bit about their
Lest we
stories.
forget,
So, according to there was there's Kyoto Animation. I know for its part has said they don't want to quickly release the names. They'll do it on their own whenever.
Well, shouldn't they wait to inform next of kin and stuff? And
Well,
have
it's
their
more,
permission
yeah,
and
partly
stuff?
that, but they also want to make sure that the families want it this way, right?
Yeah, privacy.
For
How
privacy
wild
reasons.
is that the government is considering of people's privacies, right?
Well, this is more Kyoto Animation, right? I know that there
man.
had been. I know that I think when one of the first victims were made known, that was a big thing, because especially when that name was released here. That's another story. Maybe we'll discuss that another time. But already 10 names have come out. I asked if there was a name that stuck out to any of us. But the thing is, let's mention them all equally. So let's talk about them for a sec. Junichi Ida, 34 years old, who worked on Sound, Euphorium, and K-On. Yuka Kasama, 22, who just got out of university. This was her first job.
That one was a bit of a heartbreaker.
Yeah, there was a few youngsters who unfortunately perished. Probably the oldest victim, at least the oldest of the 10 that I could read, Yoshiji Kigami, who was 61, and he was a key animator for K-On! and A Silent Voice and Free, and was the animation director of Lucky Star.
What?
Ami Kuriki, 30 years old, animator. Silent Voice, Free, Sound Euphorium. Futoshi Nishiya, 37, character designer for Free. Yuki Omura, 23, one of the other new employees. Yasuhiro Takemoto, 47, director of Lucky Star and the Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, and director of all of basically everything Haruhi.
And
Saki Suda, 41, special effects and color detailing, most notably with the Disappearance of Haruhi and Free. Mikako Watanabe, 35, art director, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid and Violet Evergarden. Keisuke Yokota, 34, production manager for K-On! The other thing I should have forgot to mention, for Mr. Kigami, the 61-year-old key animator, he was also involved in Akira and Grave of the Fireflies.
yes.
And that's so... You lost some historic talent and
Both
future
sides.
talent,
Both
future
sides.
talent
Both sides.
in this already. And these are just 30 of 10 of 35, 36 names now. I think it's 35. Yeah, 35 names. These are just 10 of them. So this is, as I said, and we talk about these in terms of the stories they've told, but we don't talk about them in terms of the people they really were to those that were closest to them, their friends and their family. And I know, like, I say this because I know watching one of the NHK reports, they talked to an elderly gentleman who was talking at length about his granddaughter, who at that time was still missing. I don't know what the fate is at this stage, but I'd imagine it can't be good.
I also recall before this list was announced, Takemoto was reported as still missing, so people had assumed he passed on.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. There's 10 names, as I said. The stories they have told, and the stories they'll never be able to tell. So thank you to them. And may they rest in peace. Okay. As I said, all the links we'll put up in the show notes a bit later on. And we got to lighten the mood, so let's take a break. We got to explain something after it. We got to explain maybe the obvious also after the break, who's not here. Let's take a break, get a drink, because after all that, I need a drink. It's the Anime Roundtable on the Six Talk Podcast Network. And the podcast now continues. Nicolas, Ing, Sharmarke around the table. Online via the Six Talk Podcast Network. Official podcast Anime North. Okay, so there's only three of us. As noted, there's only three of us around the table this time around. Most notably absent is Austin. Would you believe it?
Where's James at, man?
James? Well, he sent me a message a couple days ago saying he was sick and lost his voice. Imagine that, James Austin losing his voice.
Just a
he
matter
can't
of time,
talk.
Man. Just a matter of time.
So I hope he gets better. We'll talk. Actually, yeah, seriously, we hope James will get better, and we hope to get better soon.
Speedy recovery.
Yeah, really speedy recovery, because he has I know he'll have a unique take on the his own take on the Kyoto Animation fire that is uniquely his. Also notably not here, of course, is our old friend Neil Sinclair, which
where you at, Neil?
Yeah, do
we need to do an Amber Alert for you, man? Come on.
Wow. No. only because
Neil isn't 10.
He's way above that.
I'm
way
funny,
above
guys.
that.
The controversy.
Actually, it was great. It was great when I sent out the emails,
Or the lack thereof.
I sent out the emails, sent out the emails for the episode. Neil did reply. First things first, he admitted he was on something. Second, he went through a bunch of stuff to his thoughts on a bunch of things, not all of it anime related. It just felt like it's so 2chan like.
Are we gonna read this out?
No.
Oh, that'd be so good.
No, we're not.
Is it the one we got, or is it the one you got that's separate?
It's the
No, it's the one
we got.
Everyone got it.
Oh.
Which was awesome.
You know, it's funny in that particular one. I don't know if you guys read the first part where he's complaining about the cinder blocks.
Yes,
it kind of seems out of position. I have contacts to that. I emailed him asking about that particular situation, and he responded to everyone without contact. So it just seems kind of weird that he was talking about cinder blocks.
Oops! It just hence his email starting with "Oops." I just emailed one person.
I actually don't know what this is about.
Okay, the cinder blocks refer to to Cafe, the outlawed cannabis store in downtown Toronto, which has been closed numerous times and reopened about as many times too by police. It's a really hilarious situation because
it's the dumbest thing ever. The city's spending God knows how much money on those cinder blocks to do what? Like, so they can change locations. Like, there was a good piece on CBC, like one of their podcasts, where they did like a deep dive into this about how much illegal money is being made at these stores, and we're talking like 50,000, 60,000 a day cash most of the times, right? And it's like, you don't think these guys can just like move shop, like,
which they do,
right? And then like you're not stopping anything. You're just spending a lot of city time and money trying to do something that's just going to keep on happening, right? I mean, there's got to be other ways to curb it. Neil probably has a much bigger rant about this than I do, but it's It's just funny.
And
Well,
these
that's
people
the
are
thing.
blacklisted now, I'm assuming.
I don't think it works that way. I think you can still, if you're an because it's like that's the thing. The people who get arrested doing this type of stuff are like regular people, right? You and
Yeah.
me. The money flows from podcasts you can't see, but much higher. You know,
Yeah.
So it's like you can keep arresting the lower people, but like the money's still gonna keep coming.
But that's sort
It's
of
just
how
they'll
the
never
elements
do it
work.
legitimately, though.
But,
But perhaps
that's
they don't
another
care.
story altogether. That's another story altogether, and maybe beyond the scope of what we typically talk
Yes, we were talking about James and then Neil.
about. You're talking about James and Neil, yes.
We talked about marijuana, yes.
Oh, well, okay. So he gave various thoughts. His thoughts on Picard, on Star Trek Picard.
True that. He has a dog now, and
has
he's
a
French or something.
Oh yeah, that bit, yeah. Well, I mean, his list. This is these are very absent, random thoughts, as he calls them. So
It's half the fun of the show, guys.
yeah, I mean, I want to give Neil his own segment.
100%.
Like he
Neil,
can,
man, come back. We miss you.
like give it like I just
We
turn
miss
on
you
the
too,
microphone.
James.
Turn on the
Yes.
turn on the microphone for 10 minutes and just let him go.
Oh man, absolutely.
There's just one problem. It's going to be more than 10 minutes, and it could be awesome.
Oh man.
Okay, so on that note, let's go through things. Let's talk about a couple of other things, and maybe we should be a little Toronto centric too. First of all, I know there have been items on, like, once again we're going to do the community calendar, but items that have already happened that fans in Toronto might take note of. Is there, Kevin? Nothing?
For what? Sorry.
Oh, just the anime community calendar. He's looking up stuff. So,
Come on,
Some of these
Kevin.
things may have happened already, to be honest.
what caught your attention there?
Well, Japan Fest is coming up.
Japan Fest. This is the sad part about Japan Fest. This is because this will happen in Mississauga at Celebration Square near Square One, just in front of City Hall. The thing, and or as basketball fans call it, Jurassic Park West.
Mississauga.
Yeah. Now, just some quick context. One of Mississauga's sister city is Kariya City in Aichi Prefecture in Japan. So the two have always done a few programs together, exchange programs, etc. And over the last couple of years, they've had a festival, a Japan Fest festival.
It's the 90th anniversary.
Well, yeah, it is also to partly commemorate the diplomatic relations between Canada and Japan.
Yep.
So they for the last I think the fourth or fifth year running, they're going to hold a Japan Fest. It's usually held during the summer. I think it was originally in July, and then they pushed it to August, and now this year's Japan Fest will take place. What's the dates?
August
20.
You're looking it up as you're saying this.
It's the page is a slow load, isn't it?
Sorry, no, it's August 24th, 25th, the exact same weekend as
Fan
Expo.
So fans will have to make a choice.
But yes, and remember, guys, free admission for pets at Japan Fest. So
on the artificial turf there, yeah.
It's also just free for people too.
True. I was gonna not lead with that, but true.
So yeah, that's the thing about this year's Japan Fest. I'm afraid fans will have to choose. Surprise, surprise! Anime North will have a block of 1 hour programming, I think, for cosplay.
You mean Fan Expo?
No, at Japan Fest. This has always been the thing for them.
You said Anime North a second ago.
I said Anime North will do something at Japan Fest. That's I think what I was trying to say.
Yes, and it came out. I'm like, wait, but yeah.
I know.
Yep.
Anime North, Fan Expo. It's kind of hard to say all these names at the same time.
It's all good.
Anything else catch your attention on the calendar?
Well, TIFF announced that Weathering with You will debut at
Its
the
North American premiere will be at. This is a big one.
Yeah.
I mean, we're coming off the week. Earlier, just for reference, earlier this week, Regent Park has been doing like summer movie showings. They showed Your Name, actually.
Yeah, they showed it on the 7th.
Yeah, they showed that earlier this week. So Wednesday, was it? Yeah, Wednesday.
Yes.
They showed it on Wednesday evening, I believe. So under the stars and probably in a rainy weather. But I know that it caught the attention of a handful of fans here to want to go see that with a group of people. But yeah, on that note, Weathering with You is going to be premiering at TIFF. The schedule is yet to come out for that, so I don't know or do we know the exact date?
No,
Not
we don't.
yet.
Schedule comes out in September,
No, schedule comes out.
August, something.
Yeah, they'll announce the schedule, I think, on Monday.
You know what's funny? I had tickets for TIFF, and I should know these dates.
You have tickets for TIFF?
Full tickets?
I buy a block every year, so I like a block of 10. I love movies. TIFF's awesome. I've gone for like the last 6 years now.
Does that give you access to Midnight Madness?
So yes, it does. It gives you access to all the movies. Actually, it depends on what block you buy. You can buy the front block, black block, flex tickets.
You're gonna
premiere
try and
tickets.
try and see it?
Yeah,
So,
100%.
because every year, well, not every year, but every time Takashi Miike debuts a new movie, it's usually at TIFF.
Midnight Madness, depending on the movie, is hard. TIFF in general, the whole ticketing process is difficult if you are not a member, if you're not a member of press, if you're not someone special. It's hard to get priority seating stuff, premieres especially. But the good thing is TIFF's always good on multiple screenings of things. So if you may not catch the midnight premiere of something, they're going to show it 3 or 4 more times throughout the couple of weeks at the festival, right?
Yeah, I think it's a 10-day.
Yeah, 10 days.
And if I'm not mistaken, Miike movies usually don't rescreen after TIFF. Like, I never see them
No.
rescreened.
That's the best part about TIFF. The number of movies I've seen at TIFF that take years to come out, like, it's just so amazing. Like, there was this one movie I saw. Do you guys know who Joseph Kahn is?
No.
I don't.
He directs music videos, mostly Taylor Swift stuff. He did a movie back in the day, but he's like a Korean, American Korean director. He made this movie about rap battling called Bodied. It was produced by Eminem. You know, really great movie. Premiered at TIFF, like in the Midnight Madness. Won the Midnight Madness for that year. It was like 3 years ago. It took him like a year plus for the movie to come out, right? To find distribution, all that stuff. And that's the great thing about TIFF. These movies don't have distribution a lot of the times. They're just movies that are made out of love and passion. Like,
It can really be art housey.
exactly, 100%. That's the thing I love about TIFF. It's 10 days of nonstop movies. We're talking 8 a.m. movies, you know, midnight movies, day and night. You can watch so many different movies, and it's just so incredible.
I just want to see the new Miike movie.
Has that been announced for TIFF?
What is the new
Yes.
movie?
I can't even find the name because that's how unprepared I am.
Well, let's be honest about this podcast, about the preparation for this podcast. We just basically threw it together. I didn't give myself any time to prepare. It's been that type of summer thus far. So it's been that busy. The Kyoto Animation Fire, that was certainly chief of mind. Probably want to do something more, like in the closer to the, like, when it happened, but 3 weeks gives you a little bit more, thankfully gives you a little bit more perspective, and we get to learn a little bit more. Yes, the Princess, sorry.
It's called First Love.
Oh, first,
Yeah, I
okay,
was
the Miike movie?
I'm literally looking at it. It's exactly, yeah.
Yeah, these guys are looking for any TIFF information.
Yeah.
The Weathering with You, that announcement was made a couple weeks ago, actually.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was a
TIFF,
couple.
TIFF does this where, like, about a month out from the thing, they'll start announcing big names. For instance, Joker's premiering at the TIFF Festival this year, the new Joaquin Phoenix one.
That's considered big. It's the first time any of the mainstream comic book movie
True.
has been.
Although, I don't know, from the trailers and the way
Has
it's
been
being
premiered.
done, it doesn't really seem comic booky, I guess.
See, like, those kinds of movies,
superhero movies.
like, not even just superhero movies, the things that will get a wide release quickly,
Yep.
like in the next 2-3 months,
I love how this guy's mind works. It's so great.
I don't give a shit. Unless I really care about whoever director or actor may be there.
100%. TIFF isn't for the major blockbuster release. You know, it's not for a movie that's going to have $100 million opening weekend type situation. It's for the smaller, unknown German film that no one's ever going to hear about. You know,
So
This is a bit like the thing is, film festivals can be a bit of a business because this is their chance for exposure and to find their distribution.
So
deals.
TIFF is the company that runs TIFF, called TIFF, is a nonprofit. Is a nonprofit, so profits aren't really in their motive, but they understand that by getting these big celebrities in, these big names in this one time throughout the year, they can fund so much more throughout the year. Like all the screenings
From
that
the-
happen
at the lighthouse, their main
Exactly.
at the mothership there, right? At TIFF's mothership theater.
and usually they will, like a lot of those Oscar bait movies will screen at TIFF as well.
100%.
So usually for those, I will wait until they come out at the end of December.
I'll be honest. Like I don't have much of a history with TIFF myself personally.
and you're paying double the price by and large, assuming you're not buying a pack,
Yeah, exactly. If you're not buying a pack,
or if you're under 25.
if you're under 20, and that's the good thing about TIFF. As time has progressed, their ticketing like brackets have changed. So, for instance, if you want to see a movie, a gala premiere at like the Roy Thompson Hall, you're paying double, right? Maybe 3 times as much. Actually, not 3 times as much, but like $50 a ticket. But if you want to see the third screening of that movie at Scotiabank, and you're under 25, you're paying the same price as a regular movie ticket, like $13, right? It's the gradient is there. If you want to see the movie with the celebrities in house and ask questions and stuff, you're gonna pay.
You're gonna pay for more.
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
But if you just want to see the movie at a regular screening afterwards,
Yeah, I believe when I watched The Tale of Princess Kaguya, and
did you buy that ticket in advance? Someone get it for you? Did you rush it?
I was able to nab the ticket in advance, and the director was there.
Isn't that great?
God bless his
That's
soul.
the best part about TIFF, you know? Sometimes, even on the later screenings, not the premieres, but the later screening, the director might be there. One of the producers or writers or actors might be there. I remember I saw Jesse Eisenberg and Skarsgård. I forget which Skarsgård, but one of the Skarsgård had a movie, and they were there. They were there afterwards, answering questions. And I remember at the time I was with my cousin, and he's Swedish, and Skarsgård's Swedish, so he asked me a question in Swedish, and it was pretty fun. You know, it's great.
I mean, I can't say I have any memories because I've only had one experience going to TIFF, and that was seeing Princess Mononoke. That's why I said the word princess earlier. I saw Princess, but it wasn't the premiere. It was just like a daytime screening.
Exactly, right? Which is still great. You saw it at the festival.
Oh no,
like
it was great. We hung
premiere,
out, hung out with some friends, at the time. Went to. I just remember having dim sum with them. But the thing was, we got to the theater so late, all we had was the front seats.
Oh, yeah.
It was hilarious.
That's another thing.
It was so Seinfeld-like. There was like a scene
I don't know
out
if
of
you've had that
Seinfeld.
experience before, but line up, guys. Get there super early. Like if your movie starts at 1, get there midnight the night before. You know, lineups.
Wow.
Yeah, it's that type of thing.
I mean, obviously not that. I'm exaggerating, but get there an hour or so in advance. Like don't if the movie's at 2, don't show up at 2:30 thinking there's like a half-hour trailer. He just waltz in and get a good seat, man. This is a tip.
Yeah, but if
There's
you're not, line up the night before, that sounds like TCAF.
Yeah. Oh. What was it?
James, get better, dude. James, get better.
I actually, so when I watched Kaguya and Takahata was there, like I think my seat was at the very back, so I could not see the guy too well, but yeah, it was nice hearing him answer some questions and talk about the movie a little bit, and it was a great time.
Yeah. On the topic of since this conversation started with weathering with you, is there any word as to whether Shinkai will be here for that?
Not yet.
Not yet.
If Shinkai is not coming, I will wait for the wide release.
That could
You know
be
what's
the
funny? Yeah, we probably not
He
gonna
might. It probably would be last second,
Exactly.
or a complete surprise to everybody who sees
I
it.
mean, yeah, that's tough. That's the biggest part about it, right? It's like
Because I think Miyazaki made his like nobody knew Miyazaki had visited until the very end.
a lot
So
of
it's
the times if a
Oh,
movie,
really?
yeah, I think something like that.
that's
did
the
that
way
happen?
that's the way it is with a lot of the movies.
Mononoke, but the initial
Oh.
screening there, I forgot. I'll be honest, my memory is blurred because we are talking Princess Mononoke, and that's before a lot of fans would have been born. I think
That was like
a good chunk.
8, 9.
Yeah, we're talking the better part of almost 20 years now.
I don't know,
think.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, TIFF, as I said, this should be like what's initial reviews for Weathering with You? Since strangely enough that also premiered roughly the same time, within a week of the or same time frame of the Kyoto Animation Fire. So, so the anime wise, it really got upstaged, and for all the right and wrong reasons, its premiere got upstaged.
My friend Don, who you know.
Yes, our old friend. Yes. Did he see it?
He saw it, yes.
Because I know you told me he's overseas, right?
Yep, he's in Japan right now, living
So
the proverbial dream, and he said it was very good. He does prefer Your Name.
Okay. I guess after, like, this is one of those things. When we had the Makoto Shinkai conversations in the old era, we always said, well, that's great. How do you top yourself, right? Like we said this like during 5 centimeters per second because we were so enamored with the works that had just immediately come out before that. But some of us said, okay, that's great. Really, can you branch yourself out a little more? Can you be better than that? I thought, and then the works in those years became a little bit more hit and miss, and then Your Name happened.
Yeah, like I don't feel like it needs to top Your Name. Like if the movie is good, then the movie is good.
Really, no one cares. Like that's the bottom line, right?
That's for me. That's the bottom line. I don't expect a director to consistently create something better each and every time.
You know, unless you're like Christopher Nolan or something.
The thing is, sometimes you become victims of your own expectations, right?
That's why you should have no expectations or low expectations.
Curb your enthusiasm.
100%.
So there's that, and well, there isn't too much else. Anything else on the community calendar that has your attention?
So
Because we're just watching Overwatch stuff as well.
True.
So-
We're waiting for Toronto to get pounced. But yeah, Kevin, go ahead.
Anything else, and then we'll talk
So the
about
JCCC, the Japanese Canadian Cultural Center, they're gonna do screenings for Oko's Inn and Penguin Highway, which have already screened in Cineplex in the last 2, 3, 4 months. But if you missed it, here's your chance. It's gonna be on the 17th, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
It'll be on the Sunday.
All right. Anything else, or should we talk about his trip, Kevin's trip, in a bit?
Neil says hi.
Oh, yeah.
He also says he wants to talk about something about Jason M.
Wait, you're texting him? He actually texted you back? What the hell?
Wait, does he not text you back?
No, he never does.
Damn.
Well, then again, I
Neil,
guess
I
it's for me to
apologize.
start-
I had no idea you and Mike were in a fight. I'm
No,
sorry, guys.
No, Neil doesn't listen to the show, so he will never hear this.
He'll never hear
Really?
this. He'll never hear
man.
this. No,
so
never.
I can say anything I want about Neil right now, and he will never hear about it.
Yes.
More than likely. Okay, what do you want to say?
No,
Let it rip.
It's all good. It's all good. Let it rip.
Actually,
Like a Beyblade.
Sometimes it's just up
Like
to me
a
to.
Beyblade.
Sometimes it's just up to me to initiate the conversation. Okay.
Let's be.
How is he? What's he
God.
saying? What's he saying?
Oh,
I assume
what have I
he's
done?
not stoned at the moment.
No, who knows? 420. You never know. It literally is
Oh,
420.
it
guys.
literally is 4:20. I'm just looking at the clock.
I'm not just saying that because of the numbers. But it literally
No,
is
it literally is 4:20 in the afternoon. What's he saying?
420 shouldn't mean anything anymore now that weed is legal here.
That's not, as I said, another story altogether. What's he up to?
Nah, he's thinking a lot about Jason M's decision to cancel Fan Expo.
What?
Do you know
What?
what Jason M is?
No.
Jason Momoa.
No, I don't know who Jason M is either, but this is literally what he texted.
No, Jason Momoa was set to do Fan Expo.
Oh, him.
That he's
Okay.
filming something, some scheduling issues, maybe?
Okay.
Isn't he Aquaman?
Yes,
He is Aquaman.
that's why he would have been there this year. He canceled?
Yeah.
Let me look this up later. Cool. Wow. Okay. That's,
Wait, isn't he also in another show on Netflix or whatever?
Frontiers, which is shot in Canada.
He's doing a bunch of things. He's everywhere.
He's Jason Momoa.
He's Jason Momoa. Awesome. He is awesome. Tell me what he doesn't do.
Who's better, Jason Momoa or The Rock?
This is actually a debate, I think.
Is it? Shit,
Could
my
be.
bad.
I don't care, to be honest.
Okay.
No, he's like Momoa's
The big dude.
really, yeah, he's big. Yeah, he's a big dude. He pretty much is the man right now. So one of the men. Yeah, he's up there without a doubt. Okay, so anything else?
Nope.
Do we have anything else on the side?
No.
Well, okay. Well, we said I want to get this episode in because I know that.
Oh, shit, my
what?
bad. This is trending on Twitter a few days ago, but there's this rapper in America called Megan Thee Stallion. You heard about this?
Megan the Stallion.
And it's spelled the with a THA.
I hate when people do that shit.
this is so dirty.
Anyways, so she was in town last week for OVO Fest. She was,
Okay,
she was one of the surprise guests.
Oh, okay.
She's actually chart topping right now with a song called Hot Girl Summer, which everyone's talking about for some reason.
Okay.
So she posted this on Twitter. Just 1 second. This is anime related. Just let me pull it up.
Oh, it's anime
wait,
related.
It
Okay.
is quasi-anime
It is-
related. I'm
it's
afraid this
100%
cannot be good.
No, I mean,
Does she claim to be a fan of Sailor Moon or Dragon Ball Z?
And he's holding up the photo. Maybe we should we'll link the.
Click on the
Oh,
photos. Click on the photos.
that's cool, actually.
Right?
What was it? What is it? What? Okay. What photos?
But that's the thing. Now I didn't know that. I didn't know it was that popular. I mean, that's how you know a show's popular when people are cosplaying it. Right?
Yeah, My Hero
she's
Academia
cosplaying.
is mainstream now.
Yeah, she is cosplaying from that. Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, she's cosplaying as Todoroki
Not bad.
from My Hero Academia.
Yeah, it's cool,
No,
man.
not bad. As I said, well, we talked about the popularity of, right? And that sometimes they don't know. Sometimes how much. Sometimes you don't know how popular something has gotten.
Oh, and sorry, I misspelled her name. It's Thee, not
Right.
Taa.
There's
There's two E's in there. So
Stallion.
it's Megan, like you normally spell Megan.
Yep.
The with an extra E for whatever reason. Stallion, as in the horse, or Rockababa.
Yeah. Okay, so as I said, the other reason I want to get this episode in, and we'll end it off in a bit, another short 1 hour thing. Kevin, you're heading out of town next weekend.
Yes.
Tell me how much you're looking forward to this. First of all, tell us where you're going.
I'm going to Los Angeles next week
Yeah, narrows it.
because
Wait, hold on. Where? Well, sorry. For how long? Where? Come on, give us deets, bro.
so I'm going for 4 days. I'm going to LA because K-Con is happening there.
Oh shit! For some reason, I thought you were going there to meet like celebrities or be in a movie or something. I don't know.
Yeah, okay there. So K-Con is a Korean culture convention that happens both in New York and in LA once a year.
At the same time?
New York happens in July, whereas the LA version happens in August.
Oh yeah. And on that note, kind of like how we have IFF happening here, but Anime Revolution is taking place this weekend, but down in Vancouver.
Yes.
Well, hope Jesse's having a good experience there. Go ahead, continue.
So the reason why I'm going is because my favorite female pop group is performing there. Their name is Mamamoo. I make no secret of it to my friends that I'm a big fan of this group. It's funny because I got into K-pop about 2 years ago at this point, through Blackpink, but this group in particular has won my heart because they are a goofy bunch of girls and they like to have fun and they're cool girls. They're my girls. I like to call them my girls. So it's funny because they're not my girls, they're everyone's girls, so to speak, but
Wait, really? I thought you had complete ownership of them.
no, that'd be very creepy. I don't buy into the whole idol culture thing. I don't get sucked into that. It's funny because I had a friend who got sucked into it recently with Twice, but in any case,
And was that friend ever seen again?
he has since climbed out of the abyss and is taking a hiatus from K-pop because he realized how engrossed he got into it.
Good for
All because one of the girls started dating. But in any case,
Oh, withdrawal. This is sad.
so they're coming to LA along with a bunch of other performers, both male and female. Some artists include Newest, Chungha is coming, Eyes One is coming as well, and a bunch of other groups that I don't really care about. But for me, I had to go because a lot of the female groups suffer from what people call the 7-year curse. So in Korean pop music, you tend to sign with an agency.
For life.
And the average length of a contract is 5 to 7 years. And by and large, girl groups do not stick around after 7 years because they would make more money doing acting or they just don't want to do it anymore. By and large, they would try and pursue other interests because those other interests would pay more because of how the system works. Whereas your agency funds you, and then you have to, by performing and selling CDs and music, you have to pay that all back.
You're at their beck and call. It sounds like. Mm-hmm. It sounds like a lot, but how is this like? It just sounds like a lot of scenarios. So how does this get kind of unique?
So, in my specific situation, they're in their, so Mamamoo is in their 5th year. This is the first time they've come to North America in 3 years.
Okay.
And they have not toured beyond Asia otherwise. In terms of any sort of like world tour or anything like that, they don't leave Asia. They might come for the odd event, but generally speaking, they don't leave Asia. So, to me, this was my one chance to go see them. And I am turning, and I feel bad because I was supposed to go see Miyavi next week.
Oh,
because Miyavi is coming to perform at the Queen Elizabeth Theater.
This is like a thing. Like you've seen a lot of Japanese and Asian artists.
Yeah, I like to go. I like to go see
at the Queen Elizabeth.
I like to go see Japanese performers, like of any kind, just for the sake of, I guess, showing support.
Plus, the whole extent, you don't see this often.
So I feel so bad because I committed to this concert, and then now I had to do it. I'm sorry, Elena. I had to do it.
Oh, you're a friend. Okay.
Yeah.
Way to go. Oh, well, I only have one real run-in I could probably talk about in terms of K-pop, the Wonder Girls. Years ago.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, one of the like we're talking almost a decade ago, right? But only because, on my iPhone I had Tap Tap Revolution, and one of their songs actually appeared in that as one of the songs in that game. And then, that's and strangely enough, they actually did come to Mississauga. They did perform once in Mississauga.
Really?
In their heyday.
Interesting.
Yeah, near Celebration Square at the Living Arts Center there.
Oh.
So they're known. So that's my only run-in.
I think my only complaint with the con is that they really charge you
how much?
For extra stuff. Like, I have to show this to you.
Are we going TIFF? We're going IFFE, aren't we?
This is worse than IFF.
Oh, wow. Well, actually I shouldn't be so surprised.
So you have the general convention, which is $36. I actually don't recall if it's for the day or if it's for the weekend. It's probably each day. And then if you want to watch the concerts, those are separate, and you have to pay for those separately. And those are anywhere from like $80 US to $200 something US for a ticket. And the thing is, multiple singers perform, so each artist's set will be smaller. So they run on Saturday and they run one on Sunday with different guests or different singers. Also, throughout the day, if you want to go to a artist engagement event, you have to pay extra on top of your convention ticket. And even then, you don't get a guarantee of seeing the person that you want. You get 3 random tickets to these artist engagement events, and they start at $70 and they can go up to $170 depending on what tier you want. And you have a possibility of either going to the red carpet or going to a fan engagement event, or even doing a high touch with them.
What's a high touch?
A high touch.
I get the feeling I know, but you
is it a high five?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
So you go up to the stage. You go up to the stage, and then whoever the high touch is for, the artist will be there, and so you run/walk up to them, give them a high five, and you get to say something very quickly to them. This is a thing in K-pop.
What's the thing? I get the feeling it's an elaboration or another version of what I've heard.
I'm trying to imagine this high five. It's like, so are they like on a platform, and then like they're on like a
like they're on a platform or they're on a stage. Yeah.
Are the artists behind a desk, and then you like walk up to them and they just high five them or something?
No, like you approach to they're not sitting at a desk.
So they're just standing on stage, and you just walk up on stage and just give them a high five.
Yeah.
Is this like a graduation type situation where like you're heading the diploma? Is that what's happening?
I guess so. Okay, so let me pull up the price list very quickly.
Sorry, but go ahead.
No, finish.
So like I said, the convention is $36.
That's not bad for like all 3 days.
I don't know. They don't say, so I'm assuming it's each day.
He's assuming worst case scenario.
I'm assuming worst case scenario. Yes. So the 3 different artist engagement packs you can purchase, $70 on top can give you 3 audience engagements and 1 red carpet chance. So you get a chance to go to the red carpet. And usually with the red carpet, like they're all going to be there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A2, that's A3. A2 is $100. 1 chance for a high touch, and then 3 audience engagement packs. Or 170, where you get 1 guaranteed high touch, 2 audience engagement packs.
1 chance. That's one way to put it.
Wait, hold on.
And then so
Chance
A1
and guaranteed.
A1 is all guaranteed. So 1 high touch, 2 audience, and 1 red carpet.
And how much is that?
That's $170.
Not bad, man.
So
36 has to be per day. That is
So-
per day.
100%.
I think this is fucking bullshit because
Is it?
so no so
American-
like yes, I understand that you're trying to gouge me.
Yeah.
But-
if anything, that's not gouging. That seems
So
somewhat
here's the
reasonable.
thing: it's you don't guarantee the artist that you want. That's the thing. They're randomized.
on the last final $170 package.
So any of them.
Is that what that high, so the high touch isn't for who you want, but anyone?
It's randomized. So when you go to registration and pick up your
Thing.
Sounds so
package or your like convention
Now
pass,
it's beginning to sound IFF.
Yeah.
you don't know who you're going to see. So I land at 10 a.m.
Right.
10 a.m. LA time. I have to rush to the Staples Center
Right.
and get my registration ready. And then what's going to happen is that because it's all randomized,
Whoever goes first come first serve, right?
it's just whoever you get is what you get.
Right.
It could be for a day that you're not even attending. So if I want to go on Sunday only, I could possibly get an artist engagement ticket for somebody on a Saturday.
Okay. I'm being very skeptical here because I feel like this is a glaring oversight that anyone who worked in this would know. Like, I don't think that would be like I'm just, like, it seems impossible that would be the case, right?
No, this is not an oversight. They've done this for years.
Really?
Years.
And no one's complained about this?
Oh,
So
I'm
it-
sure people aren't happy.
And it's just like, just take it or leave it type situation. Like, it's not that hard. It's like, if I'm there for the Saturday, but you give me a audience engagement on the Sunday, that's like, come on, right?
Yeah, so I want to see Mamamoo, and if I get Chung-ha, I'm happy too, but I don't care about her as much. So that means whoever I get, I have to like find someone
Yeah, I was
to
gonna say,
barter with,
is
or
there-
to
is
sell
there-
mine, or to I may have to buy my Mamamoo one off of someone. I don't want a high touch, to be honest. I just think it's silly.
The high touch?
I don't think it's worth it. And what the hell am I gonna say in 3 seconds to Hwasa?
Yeah, I don't know, man. You
Or
can-
Moonbyul.
I don't know, man. Something incredible, hopefully.
I will say something idiotic. I'll be stammering.
Probably say something about any of the ongoing scandals going.
I mean, you could probably be
I
like,
get
yo,
the feeling I would anyway.
And so I'd rather just be in the audience, to be honest.
makes sense.
And so now I'm going to have to figure out who has a Mamamoo audience engagement
Is there not
ticket.
is there not a third party market for this?
That's the thing. We're going to have to. So what happens at registration is a bunch of people will be there with whiteboards saying, hey, I'm looking for this and I have this.
And then it's an equal trade?
You would hope it's an equal trade. You might have to like sell it for more or less or whatever.
I hope people aren't assholes. That's just
Depends on how popular the people are, right? I think Mamamoo may be popular. They are like, they're not that big, but out of the guests that are coming, they are bigger. They have a huge female fan base, actually. So I'm the anomaly in that sense. So I am gonna hope that maybe I just get Mamamoo right away, or I might have to barter for it.
you know,
Good luck.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, very good luck, man.
It's gonna be kind of
But-
annoying.
Help me out with this because, like, the idol culture in Korea and the idol culture in Japan, it sounds like they sound like they can be similar in a lot of ways, but it sounds like there's a lot of differences.
They're similar.
There's enough similarities.
They are very similar.
What do you see? Like, what could you see as a difference? Because I can't, and because I'm not into. I don't really keep up. Personally.
I don't.
I mean, the best.
This is just my guess.
Okay.
I don't think Korean pop fans, by and large, unless you're the hardcore of the hardcore, they're not as loyal. In the sense that it's very easy for the general fan populace to move on to the next new thing.
Yes, that's actually an interesting point because, like you said, maybe that's the 7-year curse. That's part of the 7-year curse part of it.
Yes.
Whereas you hear about like a lot of J-pop artists are still like I would have remembered from the time I was really into that. in any form, they're still very much kicking around.
True.
Maybe not to the same popularity, but they're still around. They're still in the public eye. Their fans are still dedicated.
And the male groups doesn't happen as frequently as the female groups because you can always rely on that housewife money to kick in. But I'm
sure new kids have. Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
So, like, even like first generation Korean pop artists like Shinhwa are still around and still active. So it's just the fact that sometimes they have to take a hiatus because they have to serve in the military. But with female groups, it's very rare for them to stick around after 5-7 years because the money isn't there, or they just make more money doing whatever they end up doing.
Once again, back to the 7-year curse you referred to.
So the recent exception is A-Pink because their leader actually decided to convince the other girls to stick, and so they did renew. So that's one interesting exception.
Okay.
But yeah, so because I don't know if they'll stick around in 2 years, that's why I'm going to KCON.
Good luck. Have fun.
True that.
I'll
Seriously, have
try.
fun.
I'll try.
And don't get stressed out and come back alive.
If you get discovered and become famous, don't forget us.
Yeah, that could happen too.
You know, it's LA, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're at the airport. TMZ's there. Next thing you know, you're starring in movies and whatnot.
right.
well, you have to. That's Kevin's big trip over. Go ahead.
I don't claim to be that attractive, so
Hey, okay. You doing anything in the near future, Mo?
No,
We're just going out to see movies, right?
Absolutely,
Tell
man.
tell us about the TIFF experience in September then.
it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I mean,
After chances are when we do this, when we reconvene again, it'll probably be after TIFF.
once the dates come out, we should definitely go see Weathering.
I would love to. I'll see if the schedule goes up.
Absolutely.
So plenty we've talked about here, and I'll put up the links when we put up this episode. After I've put up the links for episode episode 12? Because I've yet to actually put up the links for episode 12, and I've yet to edit and put up Digest 3, which James and I actually taped a couple days after we taped episode 12.
Have you didn't make it?
they didn't tell me.
What?
No, you said I think it was the same because it was that concert. I think you went at the same night we taped it.
Was it?
It was
Yeah, I
like a
think so.
Wednesday or something, right?
It was on yeah.
I just assumed it did or didn't happen because I just didn't hear anything about it afterwards.
We just quietly did it, and I haven't even touched it. So it's like lost episodes of the series, right? Of the podcast itself.
Oh, but how scandalous could it be?
Nothing. It's not. It's just the way the summer's gone,
There's still that one true lost episode.
which I don't recall. So, but hopefully we'll get this up. Episode
Post-haste.
in due time. But if it goes up, it'll go up without the links initially, and then I'll get to that later. But before I finish, I have to get up the episode 12 links too.
Right.
So that's about it. Anyway, well, as I said, this fulfills our obligations for August.
That's true.
This figure,
This morning, before this episode, I was thinking, this feels like we've done an episode already. Like, it felt too soon, almost.
Really?
a month goes by fast, too.
Right? Like,
a month goes by fast because it had been very much a month.
Exactly. I mean,
since last time.
and normally our schedule is like every couple of months.
Yeah, that's sort of
Right?
it. That's sort of it. Well, who knows? I as I said, that fulfills our obligations for this month. James will probably come when we talk with James again. I know whether it's a digest or back in the regular episodes.
We're up one.
Oh, Toronto Defiance playing against Seoul Dynasty right now in Overwatch League action.
Go
Long
Defiance.
eliminated from the playoffs, but boy, they're capable of being a spoiler. Still.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, just as a quick aside, KCON does have diamond and platinum passes you can buy.
How IFFE.
Wait.
They're in the 4 digits range
Okay.
for both.
What do they include?
Okay,
Sorry.
I forgot to mention this.
Okay, we'll put the link next
So,
week after the convention has happened.
The platinum pass is $1,000.
All right.
We're talking US,
You get, and yes, this is in US dollars
so it's above my pay scale.
for the concerts for both nights.
Hooray!
You get preferred general audience seating, so you're probably just going to be at the front.
Yep.
You get 2 high touches.
2 high
Hey,
touches.
double up.
With the same person or different people?
I don't know.
you at least
they
get
don't
to-
clarify that.
Yeah, what
See,
if
this
what
might
if
be-
I get the same
This
person
might
twice?
be a conversation.
Yo, I'd be fucking pissed.
This might be a conversation if you can choose.
All access at the red carpet and at an audience engagement.
Cool.
They just say all access, so maybe they just get access to all of them. I don't know.
Which is great. I mean, for the high touches, is it like you get a card or something, or a badge, or what is it?
I'm
Like,
going to assume it's a badge.
per high touch.
Oh, that I assume is a ticket, but I don't know because I've
So
never
if
been.
I were to buy extra high touches, could I get like a 2-minute high touch session?
So that's why people buy multiple audience engagement packs, like the A1, A2, A3 tiers for the con. Some people buy multiples of those.
Damn, it's just they spend more time. Wow.
Yeah, and
Damn.
or they want to make sure they try and get the one that they want, or they
Okay.
get a better shot at it.
Other one.
You also get dedicated entrance. Obviously, your convention pass is included, and you get access to KCon Rookies, which is some event where you see like rookie performers, I guess, and maybe they'll perform.
Maybe
K
they'll
Club,
perform.
Club KCon. I don't know what the fuck that is, and
Probably like some kind of lounge or something, right?
yeah, and a backstage tour, and then you get some extra merchandise.
Cool, I guess.
The diamond is $1,800 US. I guess the only real difference is you get access to all the high touches if you want to. There's a
imagine.
private meet and greet you could do.
Oh boy.
2 Flower Boy cafe sessions. I assume this is like a maid cafe, but with attractive Korean men.
Makes sense.
And
Going for the housewife.
you also
right?
get concierge service
Wow.
and
Okay.
even better merchandise, I guess.
Cool.
Jesus Christ. $1,800 for those who have money to burn.
Just that's
Sometimes
wild.
you can only wish,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's not always worth it.
Can you imagine? That's
I guess I'm
good-
just saying this is not my thing, but
Well, yeah. I mean, enthusiasm. I mean, it's nothing new, right? Spending this much money.
no,
on-
that I guess
Yeah.
I'm just at a point where these things just wouldn't interest me
It
anymore.
numbs you.
Yes,
There you go.
time does. But what are you about to say, Kevin? Before we go,
No, that's
that's
pretty
it?
much it. It's just,
you just let those prices speak for itself.
yeah.
Okay, so as I said, we got our August obligations in. Hopefully, we'll hear from Neil. As I said, 10-minute. Give him a 10-minute rant. It could be awesome.
Next time he's on the episode, book like a 17-hour session.
17 hours.
I feel like he can do it. I feel like if Neil put his mind to it, he can talk for 17 hours.
I believe that too, actually. But
Neil, if you're listening,
he would need.
I bet you $20 he can't do it.
He would need
Just
some sort
message
of,
that
but-
to him.
Yeah, but he would need
doing
some
that
sort of fuel.
right now.
He would need some sort of fuel, and of course, we'll hear from Jim. We'll get from James. He'll get his personal take on the Kyoto Animation fire as well. But that's more likely in September. So guess what? We'll see you in September. Join us again for another edition of the Anime Roundtable on the Six Talk Podcast Network.